everyone to this episode of Candy Apple's Next Top Model. I'm your host, Ash Stone. Alright, so before we get to the actual judging of the final 9 models who are going to turn into the final 8, let's talk about our fabulous, amazing panel of judges. First this week, we have Alex, former NTM owner and former owner of a site called Brompton Cocktail. She's also a photo editor and a pretty good makeup artist. Alright, next up we have Laura, who owns a site called Revive Contest. She's also an NTMer and the winner of Cycle 1 of Candy Apple's Next Top Model. She also makes some really awesome jewelry and takes some really incredible photos. Next on the panel, we have Tori Tastic with her lovely pink hair. Tori owns her own modeling contest called Model Wars. She also hosts that. And she has a site called My Little Cupcake. And she owns her own company called Hypnotic Design. We also have Amanda Marie. Amanda's a former and current NTMer. She also owns a site called Easy Breezy, and she takes some really incredible photos. Alright, and last but definitely not least on our permanent panel of judges is Justin from Existence Productions. He also edits our videos, and he does a lot of photo edits for both Candy Apple and myself. And this week's guest judge is a girl who was in a few of my NTMs. Her name's Kai. I love her red hair. Red hair, wonder why. And she knows her stuff. Alright, so before we get started, I also want to mention what this week's assignment was. You guys had 2 separate assignments this week. You had a group shot. The final 9 of you were divided into 3 groups of 3. And you were told to take a photo that was cosplay. For those of you who don't know what cosplay is, that is costume modeling, basically. You can do your own little like sexy take on the characters, or you can do pretty much exactly what the characters is. That's for all comic book characters, cartoon characters, anime, video games, all different kinds of things. And I think this week all of the groups kind of touched on that, and they did really amazing with giving a little bit of variety on all the different cosplay. So I'm going to judge your guys' group photos first. First up is the group that actually won the challenge this week, which was the challenge to work in a group, which was Group 1, which was Victoria, Katie, and Haley. You guys did an anime called Death Note. I've never actually seen this anime, and I don't know if any of the judges had actually seen this, but we thought this was a really awesome photo. I googled it, and all the photos I found looked like your guys' photo. The only person that really didn't stand out to the judges was Haley. You kind of blend into the background, and your pose, and expression just really didn't pop. You were all definitely wearing black, so you all definitely kind of, stood out on your own. But Haley, you kind of blended in a little. Katie stood out the most to us, even though Victoria's in the middle with her little red apple. But Victoria, everybody loves your wings. They love the extra attitude you put into the photo. And you actually won Most Valuable Model MVM for the challenge this week. And so, because you kind of took charge of your group and kind of helped guide them, and I think that really worked. Next group we're going to talk about is Group 2, which was Teddy, Brittany, and Serena. Alright, you guys did the Powerpuff Girls, which is definitely the only theme of any of the groups that I actually knew. So I may or may not have rated you guys a little harder because I actually knew the characters. Brittany, we definitely like your photo this week in this group shot. The only problem that everyone seemed to have with the overall photo was that Teddy and Brittany kind of had on the same color, and Serena, I know you asked me to edit you a different color, but I couldn't because you were wearing black and you were wearing polka dots, which was super hard, so I couldn't even figure out how to do it. So I kind of showed it to them, and I told them that you asked me to edit your outfit a different color, so they knew, but we feel like you guys should have picked people that you had clothing for. And that Brittany and Teddy's the color of their outfits was too similar, so they both actually thought you guys had on blue. So, I like your actiony poses. I edited together this photo because Teddy had one that was blinking, and they don't show up on Facebook. So, Teddy, you definitely stand out the most in this photo, partly because you're in the middle, and partly because we knew exactly who your character was. You were Bubbles, obviously. Brittany and Teddy, your photos definitely look like they go together, and Serena, yours kind of stands out in a negative way. Alright, and the last group is Esme, Heather, and Kayla. Esme, your group had some issues because they couldn't communicate with you, so you definitely got to watch out for that. When you guys have group photos or photos when you're in pairs, you need to be able to communicate. So even if it's giving someone your cell phone number so you can talk outside, or an email address where you can be reached all the time, so in case something happens, you know, you guys only had a week. And I'm definitely really excited about the photo that you guys did send in. You guys look like your characters. I don't know anything about Mortal Kombat. So we definitely had to rely on Alex, who knew a lot because she's madly in love with Mortal Kombat, apparently. So everybody seemed to know what characters you were, and some didn't. So we were impressed with just about everyone, especially with Esme. She definitely looked like she was the most in the moment, whereas Heather and Kayla kind of looked like they were just chilling. So Esme, you definitely stood out in this photo. Out of the group photos, definitely the best group photo was Victoria with Katie and Haley. So congratulations, you guys won the challenge. Now, the model's second assignment was a little harder and was individual. There's 9 of you left. There are 9 planets in the solar system, so you each got a planet. These photos were supposed to be full body, and they were supposed to really, this is really your chance to pose and to model and to kind of show. You kind of research your planet, you show you were committed and that you really wanted this. Alright, so first up, let's look at Serena's photo. Serena, you were assigned Uranus. Uranus is cold, it was dark, it was very blue, so I like what you did with this photo, and a lot of people did too, but we still felt like maybe the lighting was too dark and you kind of blended in, or you just didn't pop. Next up, we have Brittany, who did not turn in a photo. She had Earth. So the only photos you'll be judged on this week, Brittany, are your Powerpuff Girl photo from your group and your previous NTM photos. Kayla! And Kayla, you had Neptune. Kayla, first of all, I was not really impressed that you waited until literally the last second to take your photo, but I was excited that you told me that your photo wasn't going to be in on time, so I was at least aware. But you really need to watch. You keep waiting till the last minute, and I feel like that's not helping you. Like, I feel like your photos are really being rushed. Although, we do like what you did with the water. Since a lot of the judges didn't realize that the photo had to be full body, they gave you pretty high marks. Everyone agreed, though, taking a photo with water is hard, but that you maybe could have worked just a little bit more water in there, a little bit more something else. Otherwise, it was a good photo. Next up, we have Esme. Esme had Venus, which, as Esme said, was a very hot, very fiery planet. So that's why Esme has that background. And why she was kind of in red. She said she was kind of strong and powerful like Venus, whereas I feel like Venus was kind of more lovey and soft. But one of the judges wished you had a more fierce expression, whereas I wish you'd had a softer expression. So this is, again, pretty much the problem you had last week. You don't put enough grr. You put too much rawr and not enough grr. So you really got to step it up and either give us bam bam pow, or give us, you know, soft, pretty commercial. You have to make a decision. Next up we have Haley. Haley, you had Pluto. You were also the first person to turn in the photo, so congratulations on that. But a lot of people just didn't get your setting. We kind of got that it was dark and dreary, but I mean, at first you kind of think Neptune because of all the water, but maybe the photo could have been cropped so you didn't actually know you were in a pool. I don't know. There was just something missing from this photo. Next up, we have Teddy. Teddy, your photo this week, I love it. It's definitely one of my favorite photos of you. I think almost all the judges commented on that you had really stepped it up this week and you really improved from last week. I was so excited I saw your pretty face. That's what got you in this competition, was that gorgeous face, so I'm really happy that you saw it. Although one of the judges commented that, again, you were relying too much on editing, but I think it really worked. Alright, so next up we have Heather. Heather had Mercury, which is apparently a very fast planet. It's also known as the dead planet. Anyway, let's look at Heather's photo. Heather, I kept your original edit because I liked the way you did it, and I couldn't figure out how you did that. But I definitely like that, you know, you use the editing to add to your photo, not to, you know, be the entire assignment. Your shoes are definitely very fashionable, so is your outfit. And I understand why you chose the colors you chose, but I really feel like there's still something missing. It was kind of a boring photo. So, next time, if you make it to another assignment, you need to, you know, again, make something pop, make something exciting happen. Maybe it was your facial expression, you could have done something different, or maybe just added something with a little color or a little pizzazz. Katie, let's talk about your photo this week. First of all, I'm not very impressed because the example photo I showed you, you kind of made the same outfit, but I'm gonna let it slide because you made the entire outfit out of duct tape. And from making a duct tape corset that I taped to myself, I understand how painful that is. So you get a lot of props there. We chose this pose even though your feet were cut off because we feel like it was a stronger pose. Like a Mars warrior, which Mars is also Aries, and if you don't know what Mars and Aries are, they're the god of war, so I really thought that worked. And last, but certainly not least this week, is Victoria. Alright, Victoria, your planet assignment was Jupiter, which I even told you, no pressure, Jupiter is my favorite planet because it's my zodiac sign's ruling planet. It's also the biggest planet. Everybody seemed to really enjoy your high fashionness in this photo. I felt like your face was kind of dead, and I didn't like the rings on your body because when I think of rings, I think of Saturn, not Jupiter. But everybody else loved everything about this photo. They loved your dead facial expression. They loved that you're a chameleon and you didn't have your extensions in. They just loved everything about this photo. So, Victoria, good photo. Alright, now the judges and I will deliberate, and when we get back, we will find out who of you 9 will not continue on in the hopes of becoming Candy Apple's next top model when the final 9 turn into the final 8. Welcome back to Candy Apple's next top model. I have with me now 9 amazing models who had to do 2 very hard assignments this week, a groups assignment for cosplay modeling and a single assignment for the 9 planets. And now I'm ready to reveal the call-out order of who did the best to who did the worst this week and who will not be continuing on in the hopes of becoming Candy Apple's next top model. This week's first call out goes to someone who has won Apple of Our Eye 2 weeks. This will be her second first call out, and she also won the challenge this week and last week. If you guys don't start keeping up with her, she's gonna win everything. Congratulations, Victoria. We have Teddy, Katie, Haley, Heather, Esme. Esme, you have weeks where you take amazing photo, and then you have weeks where you take a so-so photo. This week was definitely a so-so. I think you overthought it a little bit, so next week, bring back what you have in your Jane picture, not what you had in your Venus photo. So that leaves me with the bottom 3 this week of Brittany, Kayla, and Serena. And the girl who's saved from the bottom 2 this week is Kayla. And congratulations, Kayla. You will continue on in the hopes of becoming Candy Apple's next top model. Next week, my advice is do your research and try not to wait till the last minute. because that's what I think got you in trouble this week. The bottom two are Serena and Brittany. Now, the two of you are in the bottom for different reasons with the same general theme. I also want to let you guys know that when I did call-out orders originally, you both were tied. And then I had all the judges kind of cast a vote on who they thought should be eliminated, and you were still tied. So I had to look at your overall ratings and averages on all of your photos through the entire competition. And you both are in the bottom two because your photos don't really stand out. Brittany's, she needs to put a little more thought and a little more Brittany into them, because some weeks they have tons of creativity and other weeks they don't have quite so much, which I think is due to her hectic, busy schedule, which is part of the reason why I think she's in the bottom two this week, because she only turned in one photo. But that one photo that Brittany turned in rocked. Now, Serena, you're in the bottom two because your photos are semi-forgettable because you always do the same thing. I feel like you have a set of poses and you kind of fall back on them every time. You kind of rely on your modeling 101. And the judges and I feel like we've seen the same thing from you week after week. You started out so strong and you've slowly been just coasting. So, who do we send home? The newer NTMer whose photos are inspiring and amazing. Or the older NTMer whose photos are pretty good, pretty amazing. The girl who will continue on in the hopes of becoming Candy Apple's next top model is Brittany Ray. Congratulations, Brittany, and I hope you get that hectic schedule worked out and you make sure you get all of your photos in from now on. Serena, I want to congratulate you. You've made it so far, and your photos have been really good. Definitely full of Serena. But it's your posing that's killing you. You need to kind of mix it up a little bit. Your alien photo was great. Serena, you'll go far. I know you will. And I would love to see you in another cycle of Candy Apple's Next Top Model, because you've made it further this cycle than you did last cycle. And that's a big accomplishment, especially when there were more models to beat out this round. Also, everyone feel free to add Serena's NTM, which is called Scream It. She's also doing a video cycle now. Be sure to check it out. Alright. Congratulations, final 8 models. Your assignment video will be to you shortly. Good luck. I'll see you in the next episode of Candy Apple's Next Top Model.